This is the first keyboard that I'm testing from Solakaka. Just not sure exactly how to say their brand name, but I think I got it right. They sent over the Ki99, which is a keyboard I did not expect to look this good and feel this good. If I had to compare this with other keyboards that I've tried in the past, this is a step above budget level. You get the keyboard equipped with Leobog Reaper switches, which have 36-gram springs within, which I think is perfect for gaming. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I am Daniel with the Biboyharanero team. We've been reviewing keyboards, mice, audio gear, anything gaming for the past half-decade now. Consider subscribing so you're always updated with our new videos and tech updates. Now, back to the Ki99. This is a wireless tri-mode mechanical keyboard that connects via wired, Bluetooth, or Wi-Fi. The battery pack within is rated at 10,000 milliamp hours, so this could run even up to a month without charging. This too is a gasket-mounted mechanical keyboard, so there is some level of bounce to the keys, though the gasket action isn't a lot. I like that this came with a knob that is built with both plastic and aluminum for volume control. Then I also like that this came with topographic double-shot shine-through side-printed keycaps, which look really cool with this keyboard. Customizability is one of its strong suits, so you can replace both keycaps and the switches with anything that you like. This has a universal hot swap south-facing PCB, so 3-pin or 5-pin switches would fit. However, I'm not really sure you would want to replace the Leobog Reaper switches. They're so good, and I will go over this in the next segments to come. In terms of gaming, this has NKRO or anti-ghosting, so no interferences shall occur. Plus, this has a 1000 Hz polling rate, so it meets the standard of today's mechanical keyboards. Let's go over software. Okay, so for its software, here in the first tab, you have the basic settings to set up your keyboards, just sleep time, debounce, or maybe if you want to reset it. Second tab here, you will have the profiles to customize at the left-hand side, and then you could customize the default layout or the function layers here. I think it's worth mentioning that you could bind mouse buttons onto your keyboard, so I thought that was cool. There are more buttons or functions to bind to your keyboard, and in the next tab right here, we'll have the RGB customization tools. But I'm not gonna go through each of these settings anymore, so let's move on. You have rhythmic RGB right here, which reacts to the sound of your PC, and then the last tab is for macro recording that detects your mouse clicks. This is a really good feature that adds more versatility to your macros. Inside the box, you get a keyboard, cable, documentation, key puller combo, extra Reaper switches, and a PT dust cover. The box is jam-packed with value, though some would deem it standard for this price range. I like that they added in a PT dust cover, so I could put that on if I'm not using the keyboard just to slow down dust buildup. The keyboard is really heavy, and this is due to the fully dampened internals. If you look into the layers of the keyboard, you would notice that the bottom padding is made of silicone, and that adds a lot to the damping and weight of the keyboard. Tapping underneath the keyboard, I think the housing is very sturdy, and kudos to Solakaka for this build. Solakaka. The knob is made of both plastic and metal, which is fairly easy to twist. There isn't a lot of tactile feedback to the knob. It's very smooth with very minimal bumps. On the top side of the keyboard, you will find some textured areas, which I think is cool, but you don't see it if it's on top of your desk. You'll find the OS switch right there, USB-C input, connectivity switch, and the dongle port. Underneath, you get anti-slip rubber pads and a pair of 2-level kick-up feet. There is a faceplate underneath, which has the battery written on it, so I didn't have to research for that. The build is really solid, and based on my first impressions of Solakaka case keyboards, I think this is a very promising collaboration. Still, I'm not decided on how I want to say their brand name, but let's move on. The keycaps are topographic shine-through side-printed PBT keycaps, so it's not only aesthetic, but it's also going to last a long time thanks to its plastic PBT material. With the side-printed shine-throughs, I'm glad that Solakaka went with south-facing LEDs, which is what you usually get with mechanical keyboards. The only nitpick that I found, which isn't a big deal, is with the white LEDs, I would see the green stems of the Leobog Reapers. Very tiny tidbit of detail there, but again, no big deal. The stabilizers are fairly tight, and I don't think you need to replace them. They're also pre-lubricated for a smoother operation up and down. Now, on to the Leobog Reapers. Again, this has 36-gram springs within, which I think leans more towards gaming than typing. When typing, you're gonna want a little bit of heavier springs at around 45 grams and above, because this helps with avoiding typos. However, if you want ultralight switches like the Leobog Reapers, you can definitely adapt to the very light springs. Again, this is a hot swap keyboard, so you can freely replace them if you want to. One key detail of the Leobog Reapers that isn't talked about much in some other reviews online is that it doesn't wobble a lot. The stem tolerance is really low, which also means that you get less rattling from the stem. Not only does this make the sound more firm, less rattly, it also makes the keyboard feel more expensive, for lack of a better word. And to be honest, I'm already planning on harvesting these switches out. They are mine. And yes, here's a sound test. The Ki99 Pro is being offered in 3 colorways. You get a black one, a white one, and a pink one. I got the white one because this would look best on camera, and I know someone looking for a white keyboard, and she might like this one. Anywho, this keyboard does not only have RGB on its keys. If you look at the sides, you also get lightsabers. With the function key and right shift, you can change the lighting modes of those lightsabers. Cool, right? With the function key and right alt, you may be able to toggle the brightness of those lightsabers as well, so if you want to turn it off, you're free to do so. And since we're already speaking about LEDs, this also has RGB LEDs with modes toggleable with the function key and backslash. You can always go to the software to do more advanced RGB customizations, but also refer to the manual on how to do quick adjustments. On to the light indicators. This has one light indicator beside caps lock. There's no light indicator for win lock, but it shines a static white when activated. As for num lock, it glows a static red when activated. You get branding by the lower right corner of the front panel of the keyboard. It's really good that this is made of metal, and it adds to the overall build quality. I don't think it's also too in your face. I mean, it's subtle and it suits the keyboard's overall aesthetic. I think that all that needs to be said has been said. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. I will leave links in the description on where to get your Solakaka Ki99 Pro. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye-bye.